The plot line of a movie.
Instead, it's all part of a case the feds are now building against a first-term Cincinnati City Councilwoman. The feds arrested Tamaya Dennard this morning outside a downtown Starbucks. She's facing wire fraud, bribery, and attempted extortion charges. Those charges evolved from her asking someone for money. That person was connected to the bank's music venue deal and Hilltop Concrete land swap. The feds link her support of that swap to her getting that money.
And all of that brings us to Walter Smith Randolph. He is outside City Hall tonight with reaction to all of this. Walter?
Paula and Kyle, it is radio silence here at Cincinnati City Hall. We have reached out to several people, but it seems no one connected to the city wants to talk about Tamaya Dennard's charges. However, there is a local pastor who says Dennard is being targeted. Cincinnati City Council member Tamaya Dennard didn't have much to say as she left federal court Tuesday afternoon. With her was Reverend Nelson Pierce.
She's putting on a brave face, but I imagine that this has to feel heavy.
Federal court documents say Dennard asked someone connected to a bank's development deal for a total of $15,000 in exchange for favorable votes on city council.
The Tamaya I know is a dedicated servant of the people. She's somebody who speaks up for those who don't have voice. She's somebody who brings to the forefront people who are ignored or forgotten about.
Federal prosecutors say Dennard used her position on council to keep asking for cash, which she claimed she needed for rent, a car, and attorney fees. These documents say when Dennard received $5,000 from an informant on September 20th, she booked 2 tickets to Florida and spent over $4,000 on the trip, including a stay at the Opal Sands Resort. Dennard posted these pictures on October 6th of her and a friend on a trip to Florida. The Hamilton County GOP says this is embarrassing.
This Democrat group of council members have just taken this party, or taken this city government to the gutter. It's chaos. It's one thing after another.
Dennard is already caught up in the Gang of Five scandal, possibly facing criminal charges for conducting council business via text message and email. The Democrat also has a court date on Friday for an eviction.
I don't know how she can continue in her role, because how will people trust any future votes?
But Reverend Pierce says the legal process must play out and Dennard must have her due process.
There's a real heaviness about this, and particularly because of what seems like a string of high-profile black people who have been unfairly treated. A lot of it has been in the criminal justice system, but some of it has been in other areas of government.
Dennard's next court date for this case is March 16th. If she is convicted of all these charges, she faces up to 50 years behind bars. Paula and Kyle.
So, Walter, it was brought up in your piece. How can Dennard continue her role on council? Can she?
Yeah, we were wondering that, so we reached out to the city manager's office and they told us they are researching that. But we also looked into it, and there is nothing in the city charter that prevents Dennard from serving in her office while she answers to these criminal charges. However, there is an Ohio state law that could kick in. It says that if she's convicted of a felony of being dishonest while serving in public office, she will be banned from serving in public office ever again. But until then, if she's convicted, unless she's convicted, she continues to be out on bond and collect her salary of $65,000. Paula?
All right. Thank you, Walter. The charges are serious, but defense attorney Bill Gallagher, who is not involved in this case, has questions about whether this is criminal or unethical.
There are a lot of times where politicians are getting campaign contributions by people who have vested interests with Cincinnati business. The question really is, though, did you sell your vote for that money, or were you going to one of your financial backers or potential financial backers for your next election or your next project and attempting to get either a campaign contribution or a loan? I'm looking at this and going, if there isn't more, I think I can really defend these charges.
Gallagher also told us investigators might be vague on purpose, knowing there is more evidence than they presented. Only time, of course, will tell. We'll be following this case closely as it makes its way through the legal process.